Welcome back. The story of Allen Avenue in Ikeja, axis of Lagos State, cannot be complete without the mention of Alade Market. But it appears that the history is about to be cut off through plans to relegate the market by the state. This has led to a protest over the move, as traders allege the matter is in court and the other option is not conducive for their operations.
If you are sending people out of business, then you put them where else they would do their businesses. Because looking at the situation on ground, these people have children and relatives they feed with these businesses. Now when you are keeping them out of a shop, then you provide a comfortable place for them before you redevelop. Nobody said we should not redevelop the market, but look at them.
We are not claiming we are the owner of the property, but if you are moving us from a place that we have occupied for over 30 years, I have been in Alade Market now for almost 15 years, and you cannot just displace me. I bought a shop and I pay my dues to the local government every year. Now, we are concluding that, okay, now, if you want to relocate us, the place has to be habitable, because the shops provided there, there are just 280 shops, and we are over 1,200 shop owners and occupants in Alade Market.
Kogi State's Governor Idris Wada has responded to the wave of criticism against his administration, saying it exhibits a lack of performance. The governor says those criticisms are from his detractors. Inspecting ongoing projects across the state, one of which is the ultra-modern terminal, the governor explained that his administration is building the state for the future, as on completion, the mega terminal and hotels in Lokoja will be a source of revenue for the state.
People of Lokoja, people of Kogi State who are seeing these things that are real, they are of international quality. There is nothing that I have done in this state that you cannot compare to similar facilities abroad. The things we are doing are not just for today, they are for the future of our state. So we are working for now and working for the future, and you can see the quality speaks for itself, and I'm very happy with the quality of work, and I must commend the contractors. They are doing very well. We appreciate them, and I urge them to continue the good work they are doing so that we can remain partners into the future.
Authorities in Malaysia say it's time to be more vigilant following the recent discovery of debris washed ashore the Indian Ocean island of Réunion. One of those is a piece of flaperon which has been taken to France's Toulouse laboratory to determine if it was indeed part of the missing MH370 flight. Agence France Presse says one of its photographers stumbled on a mangled piece of what looked like 2 Chinese characters attached to a leather-covered handle and measured 100 square centimeters, being placed into an iron case and carried away. But it has been suggested the object might be a kettle. 239 people were on board the MH370 when it disappeared over the Indian Ocean without a trace.
Investigators are hoping that the 2 to 2.5 meter long wing surface, known as a flaperon, and a fragment of luggage found on the island of Réunion could have come from the missing MH370. Malaysia's Transport Minister Liew Tiong Lai said on Saturday that rather than speculate, he would wait for checks on the flaperon, which could finally confirm that the plane crashed into the sea after veering off course from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing, carrying 239 passengers and crew.
Less speculation on this. We wait for the result of the verification. Whether it belonged to 777 or it belonged to MH370, I think that yet to be verified. Although from the pictures they say that it looks like the flaperon from the 777, Boeing 777. That's only from the view, but they didn't go into the detail until the technical and detailed verification. So I think we have sent 2 teams, one team to France, another team to the Réunion Island to look for more debris and more wreckage.
The plane has been missing for 16 months now, leaving relatives uncertain on how to move on and make peace with the absence of their loved ones. The flaperon, which was flown to France on Friday, may have stayed afloat because of air pockets in the structure. It was due to arrive in Paris on Saturday, when it will be delivered to a military unit near the southwestern city of Toulouse, specializing in the analysis of aviation wreckage. The laboratory there is expected to verify the serial number of the wing flap recovered in Réunion before conducting further tests to try to establish how it came to be separated from the rest of the plane. On Saturday, a volcanic eruption on the island threatened to hinder continued search for clues as to what happened to the plane. Meanwhile, the people of St. Andre on the island held a prayer service in memory of those who boarded the missing flight.
Joining me now to discuss air travel and accidents is Captain Mokhtar Usman, who's the Director General of the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority. He is also a pilot and a former Accident Investigations Bureau Air Chief. Captain Usman, thank you for joining us on the News at 10.
Thank you.
Well, we're rehashing events that led to the MH370 supposed crash. The plane is still missing, but a lot of debris has washed ashore. Authorities are taking all of that to France to determine whether it was really part of the investigations. Take us through what sort of steps they will be taking as they eventually arrive at a conclusion.
Well, thank you. Normally, accident investigation, we start by gathering evidences, and it's a welcome development that in this particular case, some debris have been discovered, but we're still not sure whether they belong to that particular aircraft, and they're doing the right thing to confirm if those parts that were seen actually came from that aircraft. Now, the process is that the country where the accident happens has the responsibility under the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, Annex 13, to institute an investigation into that particular accident. And the idea is to find out what happened, how it happened, and why it happened, so that we can learn lessons and make progress, to prevent such accidents from happening. As you can see, this particular one now has been well over 1 year since this missing aircraft, we'll still call it missing for now. And things that are coming up now will have to be verified. Those evidences will have to be verified and then analyzed. After analysis, then findings, and then recommendations to prevent such accidents from happening.
What sort of, what marks would be, what would they be looking for? I mean, when they're testing some of this debris that they have found, what sort of indicators would be that would help them determine that this was from MH370?
Well, aviation is one of the most regulated industry in the world. All parts have serial numbers and they can easily be tracked. So for each particular aircraft that has been built, all the parts have serial numbers. And once they're able to match the serial numbers, then they'll be able to say for sure that part came from that particular aircraft.
Well, we're supposing that it was probably a mechanical failure that caused the plane to crash. Let's bring it back home now. What's the state of our own airplanes in Nigeria?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, aviation is highly regulated in the world. We have an umbrella body called the International Civil Aviation Organization, which sets standard and recommended practices. And all member countries, which Nigeria is a member, and currently holds the presidency of the council. And for the first time, a black, a Nigerian, and African is heading that body. That goes to show our level of aviation in Nigeria today. So we key into that. We have the ministry that makes policy. Then as a regulator, the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority will normally issues out regulation to regulate aviation safety, security, and also the economic regulations. And we do that. In addition, we inspect, we monitor, we mount surveillance, and we enforce where necessary. So we are up to standard,
What about with security? I mean, we're not supposing that Boko Haram would ever think of boarding a plane and killing hundreds of people. But how does aviation in Nigeria help to make its own contribution to keeping Nigerians safe while they're in the planes and landing them safely without them worrying about their own security?
Well, I'm happy you've asked that. We just went through an International Civil Aviation Organization audit on aviation security, and we did excellently well. Nigeria scored over 90%, which is no mean big feat because it's very difficult. Thank you very much. So Nigeria is ever ready, and we are now preparing for the International Civil Aviation Organization safety audit.
Okay, and I believe that, well, the ICAO and the NCA also are interested in the mental health of our pilots. I mean, all of that flying does put a lot of stress on the pilots as they move, and I don't want to rule that out as one of the contributing factors to the missing MH370 because it couldn't have disappeared into thin air.
Naturally, yes.
So what is it like for our own Nigerian pilots? How do they go through a series of tests? Are they being given proper medical checkup before they fly, or just to make sure that passengers have their minds at rest when they hop into a plane?
Well, I'm happy to say that we are meeting international standards. One, a pilot is expected to pass a medical, and the medical examination includes both physical and mental before we issue the license. Secondly, we have trainings that we keep subjecting people to do before they are given renewals or initial licenses, such as simulator training, where the other pilots are trained to identify an incapacitated crew member or any other weird operation in the cockpit. In addition, we also have another training which is called the Cockpit Resources Management also, is to address such issues. And finally, most of the airlines that have 2 crew members operating as a requirement always have another person inside the cockpit who will be able to help out and open a door in case one has to go out, maybe due to call of nature or something. So Nigerians can be rest assured that they are being taken into consideration and their safety and security is concerned.
Well, back to MH370, it's taken up to 16 months or thereabouts before any clues have come up as to what may have happened to the plane. Now it's believed that it may have crashed into the Indian Ocean, and the investigators will expand their investigations to find out more about where all of that debris is coming from that's washing up on Réunion. How long does it usually take on the average for the Accidents and Investigations Bureau to find out what happens to a plane that crashes in Nigeria?
Well, normally the target is 12 months, but as you know, 2 accidents are exactly the same. There are certain other factors, like in the case of this MH370, you see the circumstance and so on, and up till now, even to get real evidence, it's taking a while, but the target is 12 months. And where it's not possible, after 12 months, the investigating authority is supposed to issue what they call interim statement, in addition to the preliminary report that has been issued out, and so on. So the target is 12 months, really. But sometimes you can get more than that, and also the cost can be quite enormous.
Captain Usman, thank you so much for joining us on the News at 10.
Thank you very much.
I'll be speaking to Captain Mokhtar Usman, who's the Director General of the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority. He's also a pilot and a former Accident Investigations Bureau Air Chief. We're still ahead on the News at 10. Super Falcons of Nigeria failed to qualify for the football event at the 2016 Olympic Games in Brazil. Please join us again.